So STAR only takes care of things like the narrative, right? The characters, the situation. That's all great for STAR, fantastic. Yay, STAR. But in the CBP and BP panel, they're looking at the thinking, the reasoning, risk awareness, situational awareness, right? Looking at the mission statement. How are you fulfilling those missions? Corey, I see you, man. My God. Corey, I'm proud of you, man. I really am. Nice job on your SI. Good job. Corey's going on. He just has his polygraph left for him. But Corey, I want to tell you thank you for really believing in yourself. I know it was tough at first, but, you know, Corey said I was kind of hard on him at first. Well, of course I was, because I know what he's facing with the SI panel. So Corey wants to say to me, thank you. So thank you to you too as well, buddy. Nice job. Jacqueline, also nice job on Jacqueline. Jacqueline's already at Academy, actually, but she wrote me a nice letter to say, hey, I want to tell everybody out there to please take your course, Coach Mitch, because you really know what you're talking about, and you got me prepared. Because of that, I'm in Academy. It's nice. It's just, these are great stories to hear. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Last, we got Mark here. Of course, Mark passed his BPSI. Mark was a return. He did it last year on his own, and he came to me and says, Mitch, you know what? I didn't pass the first time by myself. Showed me how to do this, and he too said, God, that's kind of rough. Well, you're kind of rough on me. Well, what happens, guys, in my coaching program, yeah, I'm roughing you in the interview process, right? But when that's done, though, we start talking and we make our plan and we go for it, right? But I've got to give you the same juice the panel gives you. That's why I'm kind of rough sometimes in the beginning, right? But after that, we get a flow going and you guys just like hammering through. I'm proud of all three of you guys. Good job, okay? So question today was, somebody wrote to me and says, Mitchell, do you use STAR, Coach Mitch? I use STAR typically for the FBI panel, sometimes the Secret Service, but not really for CBP and BP. And the reason why people say, oh, STAR is for everything. No, STAR is not for everything. STAR is a great thing for your civilian type interviews, right? For you guys don't know what STAR is, situation, task, action, result. I have STAR embedded into my programs, but it's not obvious the way I use it, because STAR tells a story, right? It gives the narratives, the characters, the situation, right? But it doesn't give that, right? So it doesn't give the panel the whole picture. What they're looking at really, guys, is your thinking, right? Your reasoning, right? Your mission understanding. They're looking at things like that. So STAR only takes care of things like the narrative, right? The characters, the situation. That's all great for STAR, fantastic. Yay, STAR. But in the CBP and BP panel, they're looking at the thinking, the reasoning, risk awareness, situational awareness, right? Looking at the mission statement, how you're fulfilling those looking at. So STAR, you're right, is not an obvious contextual usage in my coaching for CBP and BP, because it doesn't really belong there. I learned that through the years that the coach could do my coaching program, what fits and what doesn't fit, what makes champions and what does not make champions. My champions for CBP and BP understand most of my teaching is not STAR. Now, how do I know it works? Because I have a 90.4% success rate. That's why I know it works. STAR is subvert, not overt for those two, okay? STAR leaves out the why, right? It leaves out the why to your actions. That's why for CBP and BP, I don't do it. When you do, especially BP, right? CBP too, of course, but when you do those things, you're looking at what risks have you identified, right? STAR can't answer that at all, right? What safety concerns are existing? What's the mission you're going for? What's the logical reason you're putting into this answer, right? STAR doesn't take care of any of those. Another one too, a big one. Why did you reject the other choices? Now, you guys have been through my coaching program, know this already, because I hammer you. Well, why didn't you do this? Why did we go here? And that's why I give it to you too, that hard, because I want you to pass, right? After we talk about it in a more friendly tone, of course, because we're on the same team, but during the interview, I'm gonna hammer you. Why? Because they're gonna give you the same juice I'm giving you, that hard face, the hard questions, the no emotions, not friendly at all. They're just looking for answers to your answer to their questions. And then guys, the truth is they wanna get the heck out of there. That's the deal. STAR is about a timeline, it's not about judgment. That's why I say time and time again, STAR doesn't take care of those issues that are pertinent to the federal law enforcement level. It just doesn't. STAR, of course, again, is great for the feds, federal level FBI, also for the, sometimes they use it too for the Secret Service as well. There it's more applicable. CBP and BP, no, it's not so applicable at all. STAR is not about that for those two frameworks there. STAR cannot answer moral judgment, policy awareness, legal considerations, nor can answer mission integrity. It doesn't answer any of those, right? Situation, task, action, result. That's all it does. But our answers for CBP and BP go way beyond those things. So if you're just trying to pass these interviews using STAR at a federal level law enforcement, you're not going to make it. You're going to join the 60% who got to come back 6 months later when they realize what they've done wrong. STAR never asks for options, only the action. Remember, situation, task, action, result. STAR doesn't expose the evaluation process within your mind, how you answer the question to them, how you're doing deductive and logical reasoning when you answer a question. STAR doesn't take care of that. This is why I say many times for the CBP and BP, you cannot STAR your way out of those answers. It doesn't work. It's not applicable. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. It won't fit. It's not made to fit. Now again, for the FBI and for Secret Service, it's a better fit, of course, but not for CBP and BP. The last thing here, STAR sounds rehearsed, right? And this is why I go again. When you do the FBI interviewing, there are some rehearsals you and I do partake in. Up to 80%, we have you prepped for that, all right? This is why it's so dangerous to bring the STAR format into the CBP and BP, because they want to hear how you answer a question. When they give you that question, how you deduce it, right? And I'll show you the formularies. I do not need their questions, their exact questions. I don't need that at all, because my coaching is based upon formularies and repetition. That's why I don't use STAR very much for CBP and BP. It just isn't necessary. Our questions, they come to the questions, we answer with what? Structured reasoning. That's a big one for sure. Direct logic, professional tone, right? You want to also use situational awareness, things of that nature. And you want to stick with their mission. Understand their mission so you can make sure your answer aligns with that mission. That's what we do. STAR is great for storytelling. If you bring the STAR format into the CBP and BP with your storytelling, it's not going to make it. FBI, yeah, we got stories for sure we talk about, but not for CBP and BP. I implore upon you to understand this. I do this for a long time. I know what I'm talking about. This is why my clients pass. I have 80 to 100 clients per month for the past 6 years. 90.4% success rate, 11 hours a day, 7 days a week. I truly care. So I want to tell you real quick, the reason why I care so much is because I'm building my legacy. This is my legacy too. When I tell you my success is wrapped into your success, it's true. You have to succeed so I can succeed. Therefore, I pour my heart into my training with you. If you're serious about that, get into my training program down below, get into my calendar, and I'll see you guys on the other side. I even taught while I was on vacation. I took 11-day vacation to Hawaii. I taught for 4 days. So that's important to me, okay? You guys, you need to continue your mission. That's the big deal. Bye-bye.